Good day. I am Thomas Jefferson, and I want to explain to you what I meant in the Declaration of Independence and explain why the colonies decided to sever our ties with Great Britain. America's problems with Britain began after the British defeated the French in the French and Indian War in 1763. As a result of that victory, there was no longer any credible military threat to the colonies. This had two results. First, we colonists did not feel a need for Britain's military protection. Second, the Brits were tired of paying the bill for the colonies, so they decided to tax us, not just to pay for us, but to help them govern their empire. We detested British taxes and bristled at the idea that Britain was telling us what to do. In fact, in 1769, Parliament said the colonies had no right to govern themselves at all. They said, quote, "Parliament shall prevail in all cases whatsoever." This was a direct assault on the consent of the governed. We had no voice in who our leaders were or what they enacted. So in July of 1776, we said we were done with Britain. The soul of the American founding is located in the universal political principles expressed by me in the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration has three basic parts stemming from this controversy with Great Britain. First, I outline the general principles of the role of government. Second, I detail the egregious behavior of Britain toward the colonies. And third, I declare that since Britain has not allowed the consent of the governed, quote, "We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of a right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved." The Declaration says that government must do three things. First, protect persons and property. Second, create laws that punish criminals. And thirdly, the government must provide national defense. Protect us from attacks on life, liberty, and property. The people themselves also play a vital role in protecting their rights, as I stated elsewhere. They must be educated in religion, morality, and knowledge. I said in the Declaration that all humans, in a generic sense, are created equal. Equality means that no one is by nature the ruler of anyone else or the subordinate of anyone else. We are created equally free and independent of every other human being. Humans are not naturally subordinated to anyone. There is no class distinction or royalty in America who are better than everyone else. Individuals are independent because God made us that way, not because of government or laws. We are all independent from rule or authority by all other humans. The government cannot take your independence by force. Next, based on this equality, I propose that we all have equal rights that no one can take away. As I stated, those rights do not come from government, they come from God, our Creator. Because you see, if government gives rights, government can take them away. But if God gives rights, and I want you to understand who I'm talking about because I refer to him 4 times in this document. He is the supreme judge of the world. He is the divine providence. He is nature's God. He is our creator. It is this God who gives us rights. And if he does, and he does, no government can take our rights away. Each human being is equal in his right to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. You have a right to life. The government just can't snuff out your life because it wants to. It can't even just incarcerate you just because it wants to. Because you have a right to liberty. Liberty is the right to be free from the coercive interference of other people. It is derived from nature itself. It's a natural right. Something possessed simply because you are a human being and you were born with the right of liberty. God gives you that right. So, how did we founders reconcile man's natural right to liberty with the coercive power of government? Well, we didn't give coercive power to the government. We limited its power and said that government can only rule by the consent of the governed. The problem with Britain was they were vetoing local government laws. We had no duly elected representative in Parliament. We had no consent. Next, you have a right to property. Property is a major right and strikes at the feudal land ownership in Europe by the rich elite. Even the poor can own property in America, and by that we also meant that you can keep your money. Your money is your property. We did not give the government the right to tax you. The government's role is to enforce contracts so property can be protected. Equality, liberty, and natural rights require a certain form of government. That is, republicanism, based on the consent of the governed. We have given you a republic. Guard it with your life.